Steve Jervis joining us from the Lackawanna Trail Football Team. He's a head football coach. Steve, a successful year once again, and everybody you played said, boy, Trail gave us their all, whether it was, you're on one side of it or the other. Your guys competed once again, and you and your coaches really coached these guys up again.
Thanks, John. First of all, thanks for having me on. Can't say enough to it. We started out with our league. We got a good group. The whole league is good every year. A lot of good coaches. Good programs. And starting out, I think back, coming into the season, we had lost a lot of quality seniors, especially in our skill positions. Our three leading rushers, our two leading receivers. We lose our two leading tacklers to graduation. So a lot of question marks coming into the season. We did return some quality linemen, with only 5 seniors coming back, weren't sure exactly what to expect, John, to be honest with you. But I just feel like our kids did what we asked of them and played with a lot of heart and desire, and to get back to 8-2 and lose to Old Fords even in the district championship game. I think you take about 2 minutes out of the second quarter there, and that game could have went the other way. But just real proud of our kids this season.
And Old Forge, they made it to the playoffs, represented our area, won week 1, and a Williams Valley team that everybody said was the real deal, and they were. And of course, down the road, the playoffs will continue. But getting back to your guys and what you do at Trail, and you guys, you do it well. And talk a little bit about that offense that you guys run.
Well, thanks, John. I can't take a ton of credit for it. I just remember being a defensive coordinator. The one time that we were playing, a team that ran the wing tee, and I just thought to myself, boy, they can really give a team fits, and I just like the style. It's a fast pace, type of, we kind of ground it out a little bit, but you get a lot of kids involved. I like the blocking system up front. I feel like our kids pick it up well. They understand it well. I think it's tough to key on just one kid in our offense. We're hoping week in and week out we're able to spread the ball around a little bit.
Overall, the effort out of your seniors. Talk about how many guys you had there in that senior class and what you're going to have in the years to come.
Well, coming back, we knew we were only going to have 5 kids in the senior group. We did fortunately get a transfer from Abington Heights, Owen Hibner. I can't say enough good things about Owen. And then, the seniors that we had, Sean Jones, Dylan Moyle, our left guard and left tackle, Nick Van Fleet, our nose guard. Owen ended up playing inside linebacker and fullback for us. Thomas Kohinski, linebacker, played some fullback as well. And then Quinn Jago, good skill kid, played running back, linebacker. Good kids, really worked hard. And we kind of knew this was going to be a little bit of a lean year senior-wise. We have 11 juniors returning next season, 11 sophomores on the team again this year. So, we don't feel like the cupboard's bare. I feel like our seniors did a great job this year for us, keeping the bar, raised at 8 wins, and our goal is to kind of top that next year.
Taking on a team like Northwest area, out of the Wyoming Valley Conference, you guys have had some nice battles over the couple of years, huh?
Yeah, I give Lon a lot of credit. We kind of saw ourselves in similar situations this year. Credit to them. Again, they win 6 in a row after our game. So we have 4 single A teams. 9-1, 8-2, 7-3. I think we all had respectable seasons. The way it's set up, only 2 of us play for a district championship. Who knows if that's going to change with this next cycle. We'll see if that changes or not.
Steve, you talk about getting guys at Trail or in other sports. There's no doubt about it, and that's okay. When it's football season, you're hoping they're punching the clock for you. But if they're not, you hope they're doing their own thing. But low on numbers overall, you got to try to get every possible kid you could in a Lions possibility. Saying, okay, this kid's an athlete. We got to get him playing something. Maybe it's football, maybe it's not, but you're hoping that you could do that. You guys have done that over the years.
Yes, without a doubt. I think it starts, John, with a great football tradition. That was there established well before me. And so I think the kids are excited about playing football for Lackawanna Trail. And like you're saying, we kind of Jimmy Bicketti's our defensive coordinator. He's actually the phys ed teacher down the elementary school. So, we're always talking shop and figuring out who we have coming up, and we definitely want to get every student we can who's interested in playing, and we want to, develop them the best we possibly can. I have a great offensive line coach in Matt Landseidel, a great defensive line coach in Chad Gibbs. Jimmy does a great job with our linebackers and our backfield. So, yeah, we feel like we need to get every player we can and develop them the best we possibly can year in, year out.
But Kenny, if I remember, number 34, I could be totally off. Back in the day.
At Dunmore, right?
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Well, great to hear your story, as always, Steve, about what you're doing there at Lackawanna Trail. And continued success. It'll be great to talk with the guys tonight.
Definitely. I appreciate you having me on, John. Thank you very much.
Nick Van Fleet with us from Lackawanna Trail here on the John Mendola Show. And Nick, that name Van Fleet, there's been a nice tradition of athletes at Lackawanna Trail. Talk a little bit about just following in line of some of those athletes in the family.
Well, my father did play at Lackawanna Trail for a few years, and along with my two uncles, Brett and Brendan. My father, Brian, he talks about all the time about how he just loves seeing me play and how I get this great opportunity. And a little joke that he has is that he started I started a lot more games than he did after my first game.
Nose tackle. Let's
Yes.
talk about how difficult and challenging that position is.
For me, it was a little bit challenging because, interior linemen, there's a lot of thinking that they're not the most active or athletic, but it's a very important place on the line, considering that you got to still block up all the gaps on the inside. And I feel that me and Sean did a great job doing that, and letting our defensive ends and inside linebackers clean them up.
How about being a strong guy? You
That's
say
right.
Strength is one of the things.
Strength is also a big important part of it too, considering you don't got to get driven back 10 yards downfield.
Does that kind of go in the family genes, would you say? You guys, those Van Fleet guys are pretty strong?
Yeah, I think so, because us Van Fleets, we've had strength kind of come down through us in our family, but then in the off seasons I've been working out, and I feel like it's made a significant improvement for me personally.
Band and ski club, so you're a multifaceted guy. You're also involved with some baseball, so take us through all the different things that you're involved with there at Lackawanna Trail.
Well, I've been doing band. I play the trumpet ever since I was in 7th grade, ever since I came up to the high school. Mr. Dykeman is also helps out with the marching band, helps us out at all our games, gets the crowd pumped up. He's a real great guy, and it's a great atmosphere with him. Ski club, I've only been doing that for a couple years now, and I kind of did it to, just as a thing to hang out with some of my friends and to kind of get myself involved in something in the winter, because I really didn't do that much, and at the beginning of it I wasn't that very good at it, but I was able to catch on pretty quickly.
How many people I've ever met have a 98.98 average? So you're right up there. That's pretty cool. 14th in your class. Talk about taking your studies seriously and why that's so important to you.
Well, I feel like it's been important to me because our families, both my mom and my dad, have kind of had high standards throughout their lives. And my mom was actually an English teacher, and she teaches down at Wyoming area. And then my dad was also ranked pretty high in his class, and he was in the Honor Society, and so were my uncles, and I just enjoy my schoolwork.
Can't beat the smarts and the strength. You guys got it going, that's for sure. Let's talk about the next level for you. Attend college. What do you want to go and study?
Well, that part right there, it's been kind of a area of confusion for me, because I feel like that there's a lot of options for me, considering that I feel very versatile in a lot of areas. It's kind of weird to narrow it down. And at this point in my life also, it's kind of tough to say where you want to be right when you go into college. You say you want to go and do, astrophysicist, and then you end up being an accountant. Like, you don't know where your career path is going to go right when you enter college. So,
How about the school you may want to go to? You have it now down to a few?
yes, I do. Penn State, one of my biggest decisions that I've been thinking about, because my grandparents are big Penn State football fans, and my dad actually attended Penn State for a little while, and then he decided to go into the workforce. And then there's also Lycoming and Pitt, for which with Lycoming, I actually visited there a little while back, and I enjoyed it. I really did, because I thought the atmosphere was great, and we met with some of the professors there, and they were just really personal, and I enjoyed it a lot.
How about your folks? I know you talked about them a little bit. You said the standards are high. Do they have to motivate you a whole lot, or you think it's kind of been drilled into you, or just expected to say that you're going to get the job done, you just go out and do it?
Most of the time I do it by myself. I have that motivation in me to achieve my schoolwork and all my other work that I do in the community. But sometimes when it is tough, they will put a foot up my backside. But most of the times they don't have to worry about that. But still, they're great motivators for what they've helped me throughout my life, and just steer me on that right path.
Nick Van Fleet, a senior from the Lackawanna Trail Football Lions. Of course, some baseball coming up for him, getting ready for a little skiing and keep playing that trumpet. We wish you the best. Sounds like you got a really bright future. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Dylan Moyle joining us from the Lackawanna Trail Lions here on the John Mendola Show. He is a senior. Dylan, let's talk a little bit about your positions: left guard, defensive end. Start on the offensive line and some guys around you.
Yes, sir. On the offensive line, I played left guard, so obviously I got to give a shout out to the left side of the line with Sean Jones, who does the best he possibly can and works his hardest. And Richard Rohrbach come up as a sophomore, replaced a big spot and really gave it his all.
How about over on the defensive side of the ball, some guys that were around you there?
Well, Nick Van Fleet, Zach Haas, and again Sean Jones, they always put in work and just gave it their all.
What were some of the qualities as a football player you thought you gave to Coach Jervis and kind of leave it all out there on the field?
Things I left with him? Maybe a little bit of his sarcasm.
How about the kind of football player that he'll remember you as?
Well, probably see me as a small but tough kid. Always, never really quit.
Let's talk about your family and how important they are in your life and where you get some of those abilities.
Well, my family has always been there for me no matter what. Mainly my father and my brother, for the most part. They always put in their 100%. Whenever I was in need, they helped me out. Whenever they needed help, I tried to help them out the best I could. And it just built off that.
You have some goals as you get over working in the natural gas industry. Is there somebody else in the industry that
my father. So I would be working for him as a well tender and trying to help society out the best I can, just like I would in football.
And as far as some fun times with the guys, talk about some things that you guys did kind of make the game of football a little more fun.
Well, during practice even, we'd all be joking around about certain stuff and get to know each other better, just playing the game and, just putting our heart out there.
How about your brother and his ability to look up to you? Does he play any sports? Does he do some other things?
Yeah, he plays a ton of sports. He plays football, he runs in track, he wrestles. So he's a very athletic kid, and he's always looked up to me when he was younger. So his personality kind of built off that, and he always did his very best in any situation he could have.
Let's talk about being a student at Lackawanna Trail as far as hanging out with friends, a small school setting, and being around people probably you knew your whole life. What's that been like for you, that experience?
Very nice. Just absolutely amazing. There's nothing to it. It's just you walk in, you know everyone. Everyone knows you. Everyone gets along. They share memories. It's just a beautiful thing.
Well, Dylan, we wish you the best in the natural gas industry, working with your dad and stuff like that. Should be fun. Congratulations on a nice career at Trail.
Thank you.
Owen Hibner joining us from the Lackawanna Trail Lions here on the John Mendola Show. And Owen, let's talk about fitting in a trail and getting to know these guys and Coach Jervis. What's that experience been like for you here?
It was an absolutely fantastic experience. I mean, I didn't know going to a new school was going to be like, it was obviously a different atmosphere and all that, but like they really helped me out and brought me under their wing, and it was an absolutely fantastic football season.
Linebacker, fullbacker, you got to be pretty darn tough, and I think that's pretty much when they see your name, they see the word tough with it. Talk about where you get that toughness from.
My brother and my dad mainly. I mean, my brother was one good football player, so I had high expectations, obviously living in the same household as him. And my dad was in the military, so obviously.
That's a tough guy, no doubt about it. As far as what you like about the game of football, we'll talk about wrestling momentarily, but what do you really like about football?
Just the contact, the hitting, just a tough sport, so that's what I like most about
Something
it.
legal you could do, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Let's go over to the wrestling side and what you enjoy about that and some of the success you've had on the mat.
I've been wrestling for, I think this is my 11th year this year now, and my goal is to always place in states, and I wasn't even going to play football this year. My goal was to wrestle all year round and just like be on the podium for wrestling in Hershey. And Coach Jervis gave me a call, and he's like, "We'd love to have you." So I was like, "It's my senior year, why not go out?" But wrestling is my main focus right now. I'm trying to wrestle in college.
Talk about the weight you wrestled at last year. You're going to be the same weight this year, and you have much trouble making weight?
I was 160. I wrestled 160 last year, and this year I'm wrestling 182. And I won't have to cut because I'm like 179 right now, 180, so I'm right under it. But for districts and regionals, I'm going to be down to 70.
You're looking that far ahead, which is a good thing. Let's talk about your fitness level. And obviously, you talked about your brother and your dad, and you take fitness pretty seriously. What are some things you think you do well while you're out there on the mat? Whether it's a great motor or you have some of the moves down. What are they?
It's just, I mean, my dad always tells me outwork your opponent, so do more than what he's doing. So on a Sunday when he's playing Xbox or wrestling or whatever he's doing, I'm down in the basement getting a quick workout in. So I always look at myself as one of the harder workers.
Let's talk about, you got an older brother and a twin sister, so tell us a little bit about both of them.
My sister, she's going into the natural gas program at Lackawanna College, and my brother, he's working right now, and they're both very successful people.
And as far as you, down the road, college and wrestling are the things that you're looking for?
Wrestling in college and majoring in criminal justice.
As far as that college, does it matter? Far from home, small school, big school, does it matter, any of that?
Doesn't matter.
You just want to fit
Anywhere, yeah. Anywhere where I could wrestle.
Math and English, a couple of your favorite subjects. What is it about both of them?
I don't know. I have 2 math classes this year, so it's hard not to like them, because if I didn't like them, then it'd be a rough year. But my math teacher's fantastic, so she makes the class fun to learn, and my English teacher's also fantastic. So
It's usually an unusual combo, math and English, math and science, or English and social studies or something, but that's pretty interesting. And as far as those big goals for you wrestling-wise this year, what do you think you can end up if things go the way you're hoping they could go?
Hopefully to be on the podium at states. I mean, I'm working a little harder than I was last year and staying injury-free, so that's the main focus right now.
Cale Sanderson, one of your guys you look up to, what is it about him?
Yeah, well, I went to the Penn State wrestling camp over the summer, and he was there. And for him to be, I think he was like 189 and 1, and the one loss was because he had to get married. So he's just obviously someone to look up to if you're that good of a wrestler.
Well, Owen, great to catch up with you. Congratulations on a nice year with Lackawanna Trail, and we wish you the best.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.